No. Right. Just hang on a second. Oh. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again to the Enhanced Sports Show. It's Saturday, July 8th, just after 4 o'clock in the New York, New Jersey area. My name is Louis Tenor, and I want to welcome you again to another edition. The number to call is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat that again, 512-543-4662. And we'll be here just before 6 o'clock before Rasul McGee takes over with his fine show. And a great show it is. Don't forget, you can also look us up on YouTube. Go to YouTube and dial in the Enhanced Sports Show, and it'll take you to previous shows and this one whenever it gets to load up. We've had a few problems with that. I'm not going to be using headphones anymore because a lot of people might want to hear what's going on. So yes, everybody can hear the show later on after that. But please, guys, this is a live show, so keep the language clean, of course. And if there's any background noise, try to find another place where there isn't so much background noise. If you do swear, that's a 5-minute penalty. That's a 5-minute penalty. Into the penalty box you go, just like hockey players. All right. So we got a lot of news to cover here. I think I'm going to start off with the NHL free agency to begin with. I'll wait for the others for other people to call in so I can give the home run derby reports. But I'm really glad of one free agency that I got offered as Jonathan Quick, 2-time goaltending tender for the LA Kings, is coming to the Rangers next season. Oh, yeah. Love it. Just absolutely love it. For some of you Rangers and Devils fans, that might sound familiar because the Kings beat the Devils in 2012, and they beat my Rangers in 2014 in that double overtime goal against the Kings June 14th of 2014. Yuck. Just disgusting. Okay. Let me take a bit of a roll call here because I think we got some more callers coming in, I think. All right. We have Diane, number one. We have Mikey. We have Steve Davidson. Washington, hello. Brett. Steve's here. Brett, is that you, Brett? I thought so. Okay. No, wait. 202. Steve, that's you, right? Okay. Want to be sure. Yeah, speak up nice and clear, guys. Speaking nice and clear. By the way, I hope that everybody had a nice 4th of July weekend, by the way. Okay, so let's begin with the NHL. We got some people who are still in. The trade, the free agency frenzy is not exactly over yet. So to start with, Matt Dumba, a defenseman, a solid defenseman who can easily play top 4 minutes. He also knows how to throw hits despite his smaller stature. Well, remember, guys, how about I've always said on the show, size doesn't mean everything. Okay, you can be a small forward and basketball and can do amazing things. So don't necessarily mean that bigger is always better, because, folks, it's not. Let's keep that in mind. Size doesn't always matter. Brett was here, but maybe he'll come back. It's funny, right? Okay. Vladimir Tarasco, a left winger, that was supposed to deal Tarasco to the Hurricanes, but has reportedly fallen apart. Tarasco is a top 6 sniper who doesn't bring much to the defensive end. Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Thomas Tatar, a left winger. I like this. A strong middle 6 winger that you will find. He plays well in his own zone and contribute offensively with his excellent shot. How true, how true. He's a dangerous player. Patrick Kane, still a slick passer. Defensively, he is still a large liability, especially when his offense production drops. He had off-season hip surgery, sets a timeline for his availability between October and December. Though they didn't say October and December of what year. No, it's this year. It's this year. Just kidding, folks. Okay. Patrice Bergeron. Uh-oh, here we go. Well, guys, the Bruins had a chance. They had the best regular season record last year in points and wins. Looked like a surefire, candidate to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and choked in the first round. He's a 6-time Selke winner. He remains one of the greatest two-way centers of all time. It's either return to the Bruins or retire as a Bruin. Not for nothing, but I think after what happened last season, it didn't end so well. I say he is going to come back. Give him one more season. If he doesn't do well this season, then I think he's going to retire, because that ended with a bitter taste to Bruins fans and not too much hockey fans in general. Right, guys? Right. Yeah. By the way, I'm glad that Mike and Diane are here. Diane, thanks for coming in, guys. Brett, if you're available, you can come back. All right. Josh Bailey, a right winger, traded by the Islanders to the Blackhawks, only to be one out. Bailey is best suited for a third line wing role. He's a playmaker who occasionally goes on hot streaks. Yeah, very occasionally, though. Mm-hmm. Martin Jones, a backup, about average backup, and a very low and starting goaltender. He is capable of threatening to take a starting role, but is better suited to be a veteran number 2 to mentor a young goaltender. David Krejci, okay, there's a familiar name. Still possesses excellent passing and playmaking ability, and can be a strong number 2 center, similar to Bergeron. It's either return to the Bruins or go back to the Czech Republic or retire. Again, I think with the way Bruins ended last year, I think maybe he's going to come back. I don't see him retiring. If he doesn't go to the Bruins, I think he's going to go back to the Czech Republic. I don't see Krejci retiring just yet. I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong, of course, but that. Okay, here's a good one. Jonathan Toews. Yes, the Blackhawks captain himself. He was not brought back by the team, but Toews remains an elite face-off center and plays extremely well in his own zone. A number 3 center role, a contender would make sense for Toews if he does not retire due to health issues. Now, that could be a problem because if you got the health issues, that might set off something that you might not be able to play much longer. So, I don't know. I think he might be able to play. I mean, he's still good despite the fact of the season, way the season ended for him. I do see him coming back, but if it's issues that's by his health, then I think he is going to retire. But I don't see it happening just yet at this point. So we'll see what that. I think I'll just do 10. Rounding up the top 10, Thomas Nosek, a fourth-line center who excels at penalties. He's also a strong face-off. The strong face-off dot. And there's your top 10. Notice they didn't say anything about which teams, but I think we all know. Oh, Phil Kessel is available too. Oh, yeah. He's a right winger, and of course, he was for the Blackhawks. And remains the all-time Ironman streak leader. Oh, that's easy. All right. And, an old buddy for you, Di. Zach Parise. The veteran winger has not slowed down as much as he expected. Parise remains an offensive first wing who can provide depth, scoring on the team's third or fourth line. What do you think? You think he's still got it, Di? Anyone else? Gerald? Welcome aboard. Mikey. Yeah, I think he's still got it. Steve, I know you're not a Devils fan, but any thoughts on Zachy Boy? Spoken like a true Capitals fan. Yeah, but that's just wishful thinking. I know what you're going at, but I don't see it really happening right now. All right, I'll do some other NHL and other stuff later. No, I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to my notes here for a minute. Fresh off signing a $130 million deal for 3 years with the Rockets, Fred VanVleet reminisced about the beginning of his pro career as a backup on the Raptors Summer League team all those years ago. 7 years, one NBA title, and All-Star appearance later, the Rockets recruited VanVleet to be the leader of a young team determined to the next phase of the rebuild after drafting in the top 4 the last 3 years. The Rockets made sure they got the right man with a huge maximum contract. No kidding. He anticipates the extension of new Rockets coach Ime Udoka. If you're Celtics fans, you know that name pretty well. I'm not one of them. VanVleet worked out with shooting guard Jalen Green. He led the Rockets with 22.1 points per game last season. He sat courtside at a summer game last week in Los Angeles as the Rockets beat the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. The game featured performances by rookie Amin Thompson, selected 4th in the draft with 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. 16 points, 5 assists, 4 blocks, and 3 steals, but left with a sprained ankle. Okay. Second-year forward Jabari Smith had a good night, 33 points, 7 rebounds with a game-winning 3-pointer. Somebody's got a problem with their phone. Can you turn that down, please? Whatever it is. It's a little bit better, but I can still hear some of it, Gerald. Better. Yeah, be careful because remember, I'm not using headphones, so we can hear everything that's going on. Okay. So VanVleet looks all right. Yeah, it's raining there, isn't it? Oh, good. Yeah. But the Chainsmokers didn't show up at that event, right? No, just kidding, just kidding. Okay. VanVleet looks to assisting the Rockets' promising young player development as the Rockets vow to be more competitive after 3 straight losing seasons, which I'm pretty shocked at this point. I mean, even you, Joe, you didn't even think it's gonna be three losing seasons with the Rockets, right? I mean, but this is beyond pathetic. I mean, how do you go from two championship titles in the '90s to this? I mean, it's just embarrassing now. I mean, they turned into a joke. Joe, are you still there? Yeah. So what do you make? What do you make of with Van Fleet with the Rockets? Oh, ye of little faith. You really don't think it's going to be that good, huh? Oh, okay. But well, being here from Texas, I thought Mavericks, Mavericks, right? And those are chief rivals. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts? Okay, all right, yeah. Well, you're waiting for the Wizards. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah. You need to speak up a bit, Steve. You need to speak up a bit. Better. Good. Oof. Yeah. Right. Yes. As long as I am. Yeah. Right. Well, our condolences to him. 54. That's as almost as old as I am. Ugh. Oh yeah, yeah. His his own brother. Uh, yeah. Okay. 4 to 6 weeks. Oh, wow, that's pretty serious. Okay. Uh, can't go better than that. Winner and take all. Double. Company. Yes. Yeah. And I'll have some more UFC news for you guys in a little bit. And this is pay per view, like I had to guess. Okay, yeah, 5 minute rule, guys. 5 minute rule. Steve, 5 minute rule. Remember. Okay, so we gotta move on. All right. I don't know if anybody caught the summer league games yesterday, but of course, there's been big talk, of course, with Victor Wembanyama as he made his debut with the Spurs, and of course was the number one draft pick in the league. But it didn't quite turn out to be the way I expected. I mean, everybody was expecting, to come out high flying and whatnot, high scoring. He only managed to score 9 points in the game, so it was kind of like a lackluster debut in his pro debut. But I wasn't really expecting much, from being a summer league because they don't really. Hold on, let me try. How many times trouble getting through to here, so I want to mention him again. Okay, yeah. If you first don't see we're getting through the line, guys, try again. Okay, that's for you new callers as well. Try again. All right, so yeah, so he only scored 9 points, but he didn't really have a bad outing because he did score with, I think 5 rebounds. Okay, here we are. He faced off against Brandon Miller, who was number 2 in the draft, was the Hornets. He said it was a special moment to put on the jersey, and of course it is. So anyway, he didn't really do too bad. He had 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks, despite the fact going 2 for 13 from the field, but was 4 for 4 from the free throw line. He did make it with the 6th free throw and final 3-point attempt with 2:50 left. All right, so it wasn't the earth-shattering performance we were thinking, but for a first timer on American soil playing a game, I don't think he did that bad. I mean, I think maybe we expect a little bit too much from Wembanyama, thinking he's going to be the next LeBron, the next Jordan, or the next Big O, or what? Well, I mean, that's going a little bit too far, but you get the point. I think sometimes we expect a little bit, we get a little bit too much carried away on how they're going to do. Remember, this is only a summer league game. They're just getting, they're just testing him out. So I wouldn't say it's right to put any judgment on him from his performance right now. I mean, you only play like about 5 to 6 summer league games, and then you wait for the preseason to start and whatnot. So I don't think it's necessary to cast him out. So what do we make of Wembanyama, his performance? Assuming anybody saw it, because I did. Steve, I'll start that with you. Steve, we're talking basketball. We're talking basketball, not baseball. Mm. No, I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, maybe it could have been a little bit better, but I mean, what do you expect from a guy who hasn't even played American soil? He's playing a different style of basketball than he's used to. So I think that come a little bit more slack. Yeah. Right. Mike. Okay. Mike. Mike, you there? Did you happen to see it last night, or probably not? I'll take this a no. Diane, any thoughts? Gerald. Well, even though you didn't see it, I mean, because his name has been all the papers and all the sports shows, so I thought maybe you can get a little bit of insight. I saw he didn't look that bad. He still got some work to do, but remember this is just summer league, so he's got plenty of time to improve the game, his game that is. So we'll just wait and see what happens with the next game. All right. So moving right along, and there was another incident involving with his security, and Britney Spears. I think this is got to be kind of like a little bit of a joke with what happened there. So anyway, yeah. Well, since it does involve an NBA player, yes, it does. There are no charges filed after a brief investigation into the altercation that involved pop star Britney Spears, Spurs Victor Wembanyama, and security staff of his team. Vegas police said yesterday that Spears had inadvertently hit herself in the face. Okay, you're an idiot right there. Spears filed a police report alleging battery, and the security guard alleging Harry saying she was struck in the face by the security guard when she tried to approach Victor Wembanyama near a restaurant in the Aria Hotel and Casino. Naturally, the situation, of course, was toxic. Oh boy, yeah. Okay, womp womp. Okay, according to the report by obtained by ESPN, Spears noticed Victor went to tap. Mike, you got to turn that down. Mike, Mike, you, you got to turn that down. Whatever that is. Okay. According to the report obtained by ESPN, uh, Spears noticed when Bayana went to tap him on the shoulder. Spears manager Cade Hudson, I said Cade Hudson, not Kate Hudson, told police that a member of his security staff struck Spears in the face, knocked her glasses off. However, a member of Spears' security team described the interaction as the pop star still having pushed off Bayana, describing a move as a standard response. Hmm. The Vegas Metro Police said the investigation is over and no charges were filed. Oh boy, not a great beginning for your Vegas debut, Victor, isn't it? Yeah. Any thoughts on this ridiculous story? Well, maybe not sound that ridiculous, but still, not something that. Yeah, yes, we do. Very toxic like that. Mike, your thoughts? No, no. Oh boy, Victor Wembanyama, his debut and his run-in with Britney Spears. Yeah, we have a new caller from Washington. I don't know if it's Washington D.C. or Washington State. Would you state your name, please, for the record? Your name is who? Mickey. Mickey. Oh, okay. Yes, I've been trying to get this guy on for a while here. Nick, I'm glad you got through. Okay, so we've been discussing some NBA. Do you have any thoughts on the NBA free agency or Victor Wembanyama's debut? Oh, I mean, people still have landlines? Wow. How 20th century? Oh, yeah. Yuck. Oh, boy. So, like I said, that Wembanyama had a decent debut. It wasn't, the spectacular that was supposed to be, but I still think decent by his standards. And the NBA Summer League off to a rough start as top pick Scoot Henderson and Amen Thompson were both injured in their debuts. Okay, not a good sign right there either. Henderson was selected third by the Blazers, left in the third quarter with a right shoulder injury and did not return. Thompson left with an apparent ankle injury, falling under the basket in the fourth quarter, and also did not return. Okay, double whammy right there. But before the game, one did play in front of a sellout crowd. Henderson and Thompson showed why the Rockets and Blazers selected them near the top of the draft lottery. Both players were impressive in their debuts. Henderson finished with 15 points and 5 rebounds, assists. Thompson 16 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks, and 3 steals. Anything else to mention? So, okay, not that great with the injury result, but still very impressive numbers for guys that got injured. These guys might have a future, somewhat. Oh, thanks for stopping anyway, Mick. Oh, you're still, yeah, right. Somehow I don't think his line was working that well. No, people still use a landline. I'm impressed. Okay, so now we'll get to the All-Star, the Home Run Derby lineup here, and this is the lineups here. Now, I'm gonna make some corrections on here when we get to some names. So just bear with me on that, okay? Okay, in the American League, your stars for the Home Run Derby: Johan Helm of the Rangers. First base, Yandy Diaz of the Rays. Second base, Marcus Seaman of the Rangers. Third base, Josh Jung of the Rangers. Shortstop, Corey Seager of the Rangers. You'll find out why this is happening. Now, except Mike Trout, that's going to be replaced. Outfielder Randy Arzina of the Rays. Aaron Judge has been replaced, and the Angels have show me the money, Otani. All right, so I'm going to explain what happened here with some of the replacements. The cell does not work. All right, so here's how it goes. The Rangers will become the first team since 1976 to have 5 starters in the All-Star game after Adolis Garcia was selected as a starter on Friday to join the lineup to replace an injured player. Garcia was named to the AL team along with Orioles outfielder Austin Hayes and Angels pitcher Carlos Estevez as they take over for Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, and Emmanuel Clase. So that's the reasons right there. On the NL side, D-back shortstop Geraldo Bernardo was named as a replacement player for Cubs shortstop Dansby Swanson. Estevez and Fernando are first-time All-Stars. Garcia joins Rangers catcher Johan Helm, second baseman Seaman, as I just mentioned the rest of them. The non-Rangers are Yandy Diaz of the Rays, first baseman outfielder Randy Arzina, and Otani and Hayes. So now to the National League. Okay, the right page? Nope. Oh, yes, I do have the right page. Okay. I'm sorry, this is the All-Star game here. So we'll go to the National League. And as follows. Catcher, Sean Murphy for the Braves. First baseman, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. Sorry. Second baseman, Luis Arnez of Miami. That's the Marlins. Third base, Nolan Arenado of the Cardinals. Shortstop, Orlando Arcia of the Braves. Outfielder, Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves. Outfielder, Mookie Betts of the Dodgers. Outfielder, Corbin Carroll of the D-backs. I think that's replaced, though, now. And designated here, JD Martinez of the Dodgers. All right, guys, so what do we make of this lineup here for the All-Star game? Steve, I'll start that with you. I know. But remember, the Nationals aren't doing that well this year either, so you have to take that into account. I know. Hey, look, the Mets and Yankees only got one player as well, so it kind of balances out. Not that they're that great either, you know. I mean, but I think that's a little bit much for the Rangers to get 5 starters in the game. I think that's a bit much for one team, to be honest with you. I'm not knocking the Rangers, Gerald. Don't get me wrong here, but I think that's a little bit, giving too much for what they deserve. I don't think they should have 5 players on one. It's not the All-Star game plus the Texas Rangers. Everybody should have. I don't think there should be. If it was up to me, I don't think there should be more than 3 players from each team to make it to the rosters. I think it's a little bit unbalanced here, unless your team is really good. You know, Atlanta, the Braves are hot this year, and so are the Rays. I think the Braves are going to go. I think the Braves are going to go to the World Series. To be honest, yes, right, yeah, and of course in the league too. Because the Rays are hot, the Orioles are hot. Um, as mentioned, the Braves. Um, I wish show instead. D-backs are hot. Dodgers. Go ahead. Yep. You had to go there. Yeah, but I know, but Houston, you said Houston. Ugh. You know how I feel about the you know how I feel about the Astros. Right, Brett? Yeah. Well, don't forget the Astros have been known to cheat. Right. Right. Especially if you swear, then you're in timeout. Yeah. Okay. And oh, we do have another idiot of the week though, Steve. Georgia freshman linebacker Samuel Alpemba was cited on Wednesday morning after driving at the speed of 88 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour zone, according to records from the Oconee County Sheriff's Office, probably for breaking the sound barrier or trying to attempt to break the sound barrier. Yeah, not to mention, like, yeah, again, he's going to do that anymore. So anyway, uh, his speeding citation occurred about an hour before Georgia receiver Marcus Rosemy Jack Saint appeared at the Athens courtroom and pleaded guilty to driving 90 miles per hour at this in a 45-mile-an-hour zone on May 23rd on a highway in Atlanta. Doubled the speed limit. Okay. What a joke. A reckless driving charge was against Jack Saint was dismissed as part of a plea deal, and he spent an hour after in jail after his arrest. Only an hour? He got away with murder. What are you trying to do? But I mean, look. You're a football player, not a race driver in the Indianapolis 500 Daytona. What were you thinking? Or on the other hand, were you even thinking at all? 90 miles an hour in a 45-hour zone, that's deadly. That could have killed somebody. I mean, really, you hotshot young drivers out there think you got it made and think you know it all. You don't. Who in their right mind would drive 90 miles an hour in a speed limit that's only 45? Yeah, I'll say he's an idiot. And do some soccer. Of course you can. Jeez. Remember, guys, we handle all topics on this show. Yes. Ugh. Another idiot. Okay. Okay, so as I said, Steve, I got some MMA news for you. You're gonna love it. All right. Now, I'm sure Steve is aware of this, that there is a UFC Hall of Fame, right? Right. Okay. I forgot there was. So the two most popular fighters in the MMA are being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. Anderson Silva and Jose Aldo were inducted on Thursday night at the T-Mobile Arena. They headline a class that include a fan favorite, Don the Cowboy Cerrone, lightweight pioneer James Pulver, and a classic knockdown dragout fight in March 2015 between Robbie Lawler and Roy McDonald. I think I remember hearing about that. Silva, aka the Spider, still holds the record with 16 straight victories and 10 title defenses, trails only John Jones and Demetrius Johnson with 11. Wow, even passing Jones. That's a big name in UFC. Silva had the longest title in UFC history as he held the middleweight title for 2,457 days. He finished with 9 knockouts and 7 knockdowns, 10 in UFC title fights. Aldo's career is just as impressive as he's the most decorated fighter in MMA history. With a combined 9 successful titles in UFC and WEC, and the youngest fighter at 23 to win that title. Steve, we're not fooling around here with this, are we? They're great fighters, and deservedly so. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So I thought I'd come to you first since you're the UFC expert around here. No, no, yeah. Even though it may look fake, but it's real, and these guys mean business. But still, great fighters. Yes. Well, yeah. If you don't follow the script, yeah, you're gonna get hurt. Duh. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. And we do mean freak accidents. But nonetheless, I mean, I think these guys are great. They had great careers, and they made USA what it is today. Devin, how are you? Okay, you got some soccer news you want to bring? And hey, Women's World Cup is only a week and a half away. Yeah, yes, I heard. Right, I heard. Yeah, and the Gold Cup, with the U.S. men has been phenomenal. I mean, they played their opponents 6-0 back-to-back shutouts. I mean, this team. I think need to take more seriously, Devin. I've watched those games, and they are doing phenomenally well tonight, tomorrow. Oh yeah, Canada. 7:30. 7:30, I think, isn't it? I'll be tuned to that. Oh, good, because they didn't announce the channel when I looked up the schedule, so now it's been confirmed on FS1. Okay, thanks. Ugh, yeah. So, oh yeah, yes. Hmm. Yeah, but somehow that tournament passed us by. I wasn't, really focusing much on that. I was focusing more on the Gold Cup tournament, and they've proven that this team, you know, is really showing its strength. I mean, they did win the last one, but this team I think is even more powerful than the 2021 edition. Even though they won the Gold Cup, I think they have a good chance of beating Canada tomorrow. Canada's come on strong in soccer, but they're no powerhouse. I think the U.S. can. I think the U.S. can beat them. I don't know about a shut up, but I think it's going to be a convincing win. I mean, how many possibly have? I'm going to say 5-2. Yeah, that's, I'll give you that. Gotta bring your A game though. This is gotta bring your A game when you're in this tournaments because this is now the elimination round. It's win or go home, as the saying goes. So yeah, if you don't bring your A game, you're a goner. And I personally want to see that. Oh, before I move on to anything else, we got the home run derby, of course, on Monday night. I should have done this one first. So here are the matchups that we're going to be doing. The 8 sluggers are Luis Robert Jr., number 1, against Andy Rushman, number 8, and he has the fewest home runs in this home run derby. He only has 11. Wow. Pete Alonso against J Rod. That's 2-7. I like this matchup here, though. Number 3, Mookie Betts against Vlad Guerrero Jr. Oh boy, his father was a monster. And Adolis Garcia versus Randy Arzina. So that's how that's going to work out. Robert Jr. has 25 home runs when the seeds were set. They were set about a week ago. His longest home run was 450 feet on the 4th of July against the Blue Jays. Hardest home run was 113 miles per hour on May 14th versus the Astros. Okay, I like that. And just a second. Alonso is going for his 3rd title. That'll be a very rare company. Easy, guys. Okay. Randy Rutschman of the Orioles, despite the fact they're having a great season, he only has 11 home runs, and he's going in with the fewest home runs of any of the competitors. His longest home run of the year was 424 feet back on May 18th against the Angels. And the hardest was 111 miles on May 9th against the Rays. Against the Rays, no less. How interesting. Moving on. Pete Alonso, 25 home runs. His longest home run was 444 feet against the Braves on June 6th. His hardest is 113 miles per hour set against the Astros on June 21st. He is a home run derby superstar, a 2-time champion, winning back-to-back titles in 2020 and 2021. Obviously, there was no home run derby in 2020 because of you know what. It took a monster 31 home run round from Rodriguez to eliminate Alonso from last year's derby. Now they set for a must-watch first-round rematch. Ken Griffey Jr. is the only player to win 3 home run derbies, 94, 98, 99. He did not win consecutively, so that'd be pretty rare company to do it. I don't know. I mean, it's one thing you can win it twice, but to do it 3 years, I don't know. But I'll hold my predictions until later. Okay, moving on. J-Rod. 13 home runs when the seeds were set. Longest was 454 on May 7th versus the Astros. Hardest was 112 miles per hour against the Yankees. Okay. After the show, J-Rod put on as a rookie last year home run derby. Everyone will be watching to see what he can do for an encore. I'm anxious to see it myself. Rodriguez became the only player with multiple 30 home runs in a derby, and only 4 other players in derby history, Vlad Jr., Jock Peterson, Alonso, and Sato, have ever had one. Rodriguez, 81 total home runs in 2022 when he fell in the finals to Sato, and are the second most ever in a single-run home run derby, given behind Guerrero's 91 in 2019. That's right, he hit 91 home runs in that one home run derby. What do you like? What do you think about that one? And Rodriguez is playing in his hometown as it's being played in Seattle on Monday. And only 3 players have ever won a home run derby in their own home ballpark. Bryce Harper, the Nationals. Got that one, Steve? Okay. Todd Frazier at the Graham Ballpark in 2005, and Randy Sandberg at Wrigley in 1990. Rodriguez would be Seattle's second player ever win a home run derby after, of course, Griffey. Okay, Mookie Betts, 23 home runs at the time this was made out, 426 feet against the Padres on May 12th. The hardest was June 2nd against my Yankees. Oh, come on. But then again, the Yankees were struggling with injuries at that point. He's been All-Star 7 consecutive seasons, but this will be his home run derby debut. He is the first career. He's on pace to have his first 40 career home run season, and he's only 5'9". I told you, size don't matter. The most recent derby champion was under 6 feet tall was Yoenis Cespedes. Huh, how interesting. The Dodgers have never had a home run derby champion, so maybe he could be the first. How do you like that? Never a home run derby champion. And the derby has now been going on for 38 years. Vlad Jr. Well, it's anything like your father. Okay. Yeah. 13 home runs when the seeds were set. Longest was 450 against the Red Sox on May 3rd. Red Sox, sorry. The hardest home run, April 23rd against the Yankees again. Then again, he has our number. He entered his second home run derby, and though he may come up just short, in his first as a rookie in 2018, when he lost to Alonso by 1 home run in Dallas, a home run in the finals, it was one of the most electrifying home run derby displays of all time. You can say that again. As I mentioned, he had 40 in a single round to beat Pearson in a triple swing off in round 2, and the most home runs in any single derby with 91 in total. And that, I don't think it's ever going to be broken. If Vlad wins this year, he and his Hall of Fame dad, Vlad Sr., will become the first father-son duo to be home run derby champions. Vlad Sr. was a member of the 2007 Derby as a member of the Angels, defeating Alex Reyes in the finals. Yeah, like I said, his dad was a great player. I couldn't stand him, but he was a good player. Doris Garcia, the Rangers, 21 home runs when they were set. Longest home run was 432 feet on April 22nd against the A's, and the hardest was 112 miles per hour on June 20th against the White Sox. The final 2023 Home Run Derby participant to be revealed, Garcia is entering the contest for the first time. He'll be the Rangers' third representative in the last 3 derbies. Corey Seager last year and Joey Gallo in 2021. But you have to go back to exactly 30 years to find Texas' last home run derby champion. That was Juan Gonzalez, which took home the crown in 1993. When he shared the crown in 1989 in his team's other home run derby winner. Many Latin American starters have shared the home run derby, including last year's winner, Juan Soto, who hails from the Dominican Republic, but there's only been one Cuban champion, that was Cespedes, who won back-to-back derbies in 2013 and 2014. And it was a Cespedes for the rest of us. Oh, no. Oh, okay. This show is live, right? Oh, boy. Yeah. All right, guys. So what do we make of our home run derby selections here? Whoops. Hold it. I forgot one. Randy Arozarena, 16 home runs when the seeds were set. 436 feet against the Tigers on April 2nd, and the hardest was against April 29th, 118 miles per hour against the White Sox. He's only the third Rays player to ever make the home run derby, and the first was Carlos Pena in 2009. Wow, that long ago. The first was Evan Longoria. I said Evan Longoria, not Evan Longoria, in 2008. Oh boy. Both Pena and Longoria were eliminated in the first round, so Arozarena could be Tampa Bay's first home run champion. He is well on his way to a career year from a home run hitting standpoint. He is on pace right around 30 home runs. His previous high was 20 in each of the last 2 seasons. Arozarena versus Garcia would be a Cuba versus Cuba matchup. So while either of them could become the second Cuban player to win a home run derby, only one can make it past the first round to get a shot at the finals. Okay, well, I know all Cuba's going to be watching that for sure. Just a second, while I don't miss anybody else. Okay, now you can give your stuff. Mike, go ahead. Your thoughts. I figured you'd say that. Three straight. We'll see. Okay, we got another caller from North Carolina. Is this Jennifer or Nick? Nick, sorry. Nick, what do you make of the home run derby and the All Star game this week? Right. Well, Devin's from New Mexico. Yeah. Devin, any thoughts? Okay, the Mook. The Mook. All right. Steve, you got any picks for the home run derby? Mook. Okay, the Mook. Uh, Gerald, you mean J Rod? Yeah, A Rod's done. Thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah, I call him J Rod. Yeah. Diane, J Rod. I'm gonna say Mookie. I'm gonna say Mookie's good. J Rod, he's not bad, but I'm gonna go with that. And who do you think is gonna win the All Star game? Is it gonna be the American League or the National League? Steve. Ugh. All right, Mike. Figures you're a Met fan, of course. Diane. Oh boy, am I the only one? Am I the odd man out here? Ugh. Gerald. Oh boy. Devin. Help. Ugh. Nick. Okay, no pain. Okay, I'm the only man. I'm the only man on the totem pole here. I'm going with the American League. Sorry, boy. Everybody thinks the National League. Yeah. Remember, the National League was dominant at one time back in the 70s and 80s, but since then they haven't been so. You know, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The game is Tuesday night, and I don't know about you, but I like I actually the home run derby been the All Star game itself. You can call me crazy if you want, but I actually like to see the derby. The home run, anything like that. Rocket speed. It's like rocket fuel taking off. I actually enjoy it. I don't know about you, but I think a lot of people like to tune in to see the All Star game itself. But I personally enjoy the home run derby better. Of course, a lot of people think I'm nuts about for saying that, but I enjoy it. I enjoy a good home run slugfest. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, great. Now I'm not the only one here. I'm not the odd man out. Ugh. Okay, back to basketball. Free agent forward Montrezl Harrell agreed to a one-year deal to return to the 76ers. Well, he originally signed as a free agent before the start of last season with averages of 5.6 points and 2 point rebounds in 57 games, and a backup spot behind this season's MVP and scoring champ by the name of Joel Embiid. Well, Harwell was the sixth man of the year in 2019 and 2020, while in the final of his three seasons with the Clippers, he also played for the Rockets, Lakers, and the Wizards. And in his eighth season, he was drafted out of Louisville in 2015. And the Sixers, of course, are I still don't think they should have fired the coach. That was wrong. DeJounte Murray and the Hawks agreed to a 4-year deal in principle with a contract extension worth up to $120 million. The deal was officially signed yesterday, and we'll see Murray bypass free agency next summer. Instead of locking in the Hawks for the next 5 years and 138 million in total, that will include this season, and the final year of his deal, which is in 27-28, will be a player option. This season, he averaged 20.5 points per game, 6.5 assists, 5.1 rebounds, and 1.5 steals in 74 games. All starts with his first season with the Hawks. He spent his first 5 seasons of his career with the Spurs before being traded to the Hawks for forward Danilo Gallerini and 3 first-round picks. Overall, Murray has 14 average 14 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, 5.1 assists, 1.4 steals, 394 career games with 323 starts, and a partridge in the pear tree. Okay. The Hawks also signed 2 second-round picks, Seth Lindy and undrafted free agent Miles Norris, to 2-way contracts. Not bad. And Norris is from Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara. All right, guys, any thoughts on the Hawks? Okay, I'll move. Okay, then I'll move on. Oops, wrong button again, Justin. Okay. Uh, After the Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal blockbusters clean out the Suns' coffers of any collected controllable picks through 2030, the franchise acquired 3 future second-round picks to play with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are sending 2025 second-round pick via the Pelicans and their own second-rounders in 2028, 2029. I'll be an old man by then. Wow. The second rounders give the Suns some picks to use in future trades or draft players themselves. The Suns sent the Nets 4 unprotected picks and a 2028 swap pick in the Durant deal. Oh boy. Before this trade, the Suns had no control over picks through 2030 in the first round. The cost to the Suns will be forward Isaiah Todd, first round swap picks for both 2024 and 2030. I've heard of planning ahead, but this is ridiculous. The Grizzlies will have the rights in those years to swap their own first or the lesser of the Suns, the Wizards' first round selections. The Suns traded the Wizards 6 future second round picks and 6 first round picks in the Beal trade. Kind of interesting, isn't it, guys? Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a lot, to be honest. That's a bit much. And Alex is here, I think. Hey, Alex, have any thoughts on what we've been mentioning? Well, don't forget, yeah, right. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, he can't even, yeah, I know. Did you watch? Did you watch? Did you watch Wembanyama's debut last night? Yeah, yeah. No, Holmgren was injured. Yes. Well, we can't. Remember, this is his first time playing on American soil, like I said. So he's not used to playing this style of basketball. I cut some slack. Is I mean, he didn't have a spectacular game, but a fairly decent game for a player who's never played in this country before. I mean, with the rebounds and assists to go with his 9 points. Okay, nothing earth shattering, but still a decent performance. Spurs. Right. France. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, of course. Sure. Well, but let's just hope he's not going to be another Ben Simmons. Okay. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Help. All right. So will I. Hey, Steve, I got some other UFC news for you. John Jones will fight Stipe Mitic in a battle for the most decorated lightweight and heavyweight champion in UFC history. How about that? Jones will defend against his title against Mitic, the former two-time UFC champion, at UFC 295 in November at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Oh boy. UFC President Dana White made announcements at the weigh-ins yesterday. Jones, a third in the world for pound, has the best resume in the history of the sport. His only loss was in a disqualification, but didn't say who the disqualification was against. Do you remember that one, Steve? Name it. Oh, Jake Bumby. Oh, okay. Right. I think I remember that one too. Um, so he's 27 1-1. He returned after the ring after a 3-year layoff in March, moving up to the heavyweight class and won the vacant title against Cyril Gain in a first round submission at UFC 285. He's a native of New York. He's a native New Yorker. Oh, no. Okay. Has the most wins in UFC title fights with 15, in addition to his record setting as a light heavyweight. Jones has 11 successful title defenses and a lightweight ring time record with Demetrius Johnson. Mitic, not too shabby either. He hasn't fought since losing the belt to Francis Ngannou at UFC 260 in March of 2021 and has a record of 20-4. He's a native of Ohio and won two straight before losing to Daniel Cormier. Mitic has 4 successful title defenses as heavyweight, the most in UFC division's history. What do you make of this, Steve? I mean, this is your shot here. You're the UFC guy. Yeah. What kind of problems? Just a weight problem? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, we got another number here from Lowell, Massachusetts. I think I know who this one is. For the record, would you please state your name? John, how are you? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special guest here, John Duchette. I've been associated with this gentleman now for the last 5 years. He's part of another show I'm associated with called In the Batter's Box. It's great to have you here, John. Yeah. Say what? Yeah, I heard. I just don't believe it. So combined against the Tigers. Oh, where's Taylor on Phillips when I need him? Oh boy. Yeah. 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 So let's see. We had a no hitter today. We got a perfect game last week with the Yankees against it was against the A's. I mean, it's getting pretty interesting. It's getting pretty interesting here as we enter the second half of the season. What do you make of? I know you didn't hear the lineups for the All Star game and the Home Run Derby, but what do you make of it? And do you think that it's a bit much for 5 players from one team to be on the All Star All Star game? I think 3 is enough. I mean, the Rangers aren't really dominating, all of baseball, but yet they got 5 starters, 5 players on the All Star team. Yeah, yeah, right. Like, well, what could it possibly be? Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah, Yeah. Johnny, you follow college baseball a lot. I did see some of the games from the College World Series, although games 2 and 3 were like a just like a joke, in my opinion. I mean, one blowout after another. You know, I mean, Ray, what did you make of the College World Series? I did not get a chance to see Game 3 because I lost my power just that game was getting to start. But it turns out I didn't miss much because that game was just a mismatch right from the word go. I mean, really, you had a close game. Really? Hmm. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. And next week we'll cover round 1 of the draft, fellas. So keep that in mind. Though I'm not going to cover every. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. But I mean, because there's a lot of rounds. There's like what 15 rounds in the draft. 30. There's no way I'm going to cover every pick in that draft. Sorry to disappoint you, folks. No. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Hey Diane, you got any trivia before I move on to the next subject? Okay. Manning, the Favre. But Favre won. But he won. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Bears and Cardinals. Yes. Right. I was gonna say they weren't called the Bears at first. Right. Chicago. Yeah. Remember, guys, the Yankees were not an original. Remember, the American League came after the NL came. I think it was two. None. Wow. How interesting. Zippo. Wow. I mean, yeah. Right. Now the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. Oh, I suppose you guys didn't hear what happened at Yankee Stadium a few days ago, as a cameraman was injured, was in the head after a throw by an all-year-old shortstop Gunnar Henderson. Boy, very scary incident here, guys. Position at the right side of the Yankees dugout at first base was Yankees cameraman Pete Stendel. He was conscious and was undergoing tests at a local hospital on Wednesday night. At the time, there was no further updates from the YES Network. Just a shame that what happened to that. But he is resting comfortably. He is resting comfortably now, so he should be ready to be back um, next within a couple of days. Oh, Gerald, we got something here. No, it's good. For those of you who don't know, the Cowboys add another kicker to the roster as they sign USFL Birmingham Stallions kicker Brandon Avery. The Cowboys did not take a good hard look at the veteran free agent market. That includes Mason Crosby and Robbie Gould, and last year's kicker Brett Mayer. Was not inclined to resign with the team after putting up 137 regular season points, yet struggled in the playoffs, ending 5 point after attempts. Not cool, guys. The Cowboys had their eyes on kickers since the draft, but Jake Moody, third rounder to the 49ers, and Chad Ryland, fourth to the Patriots, went earlier to select a kicker, so they turned to Aubrey. He will compete with Tristan Vizcaino for the kicking job as they head to training camp, which begins next month at their training facility in Oxnard, California. Before anyone asks why they train in California, do you guys know how it gets in Texas this time of year? I mean, really. So, right, but some are not aware of that. But I know I was. Right. Yeah. Wow. They get around, don't they? Boy, they get around, don't they? Oh, I knew you were going to go with that. I should have said nothing. I know. The Orioles promoted outfielder Colton Cowser to the major. He had 330 home run. He's hit 330 with 10 home runs and 40 RBIs at AAA Norfolk this season, and was like the fifth overall in the 2021 draft. At the time of this report, they lost 6 of the last 7 games, yet the Orioles are still in position for the top wildcard spot in the American League East, and their farm system remains loaded with hitting prospects. Last month, they called infielder Jordan Westberg, 32nd ranked prospect by MLB, a pipeline. Cowser is 14th on the list, and the Orioles have a top prospect in Class A, Jackson Holiday. Yeah, yes, yeah, yes, yep, I know. Yes, I knew, I knew, I knew that name sounded familiar. I knew that name sounded familiar. Okay, well, on to the from the good side of baseball to the idiot side of baseball, as Yankee reliever Jimmy Cordero has been suspended for the remainder of the year for violating the league's domestic violence policy, which makes you another idiot of the week. He has emerged as a vital part of the Yankees bullpen after not pitching in the majors in 3 years. The Yankees relief corps allowed the team to remain relevant in an offensive slump since Aaron Judge went on the injured list last month with a torn ligament in his big right toe, which is why the Yankees have been struggling. The relievers have a 2.82 ERA, the best in the majors, and have given up the fewest home runs while generating the highest ground ball rate. The league's policy, negotiated with the Players Association, does not mandate suspensions of a certain length, Cordero's 76 game suspension, which he did agree to, is the longest the league has ever given. There are no justifications for domestic violence as we stand with the objectives, standards, and enforcements of the league's joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy. I mean, I don't care how upset you are, you do not go out and take on somebody and cause harm to your family or whatever. I mean, that is really uncalled for. I think he got what he deserved, being suspended for the rest of the season. There is no excuse for that. Yeah, pretty much. Well, good riddance. Yeah. Nobody should have, you don't use people as a punching bag. Yes. Yeah, no, there's no excuse for that kind of behavior, no matter who you are. You know, you could be endangering somebody's life with that, and that is not acceptable. All right. Yeah. So, oh, by the way, anybody catch the USFL final last week? You did. It looked like a game. It looked like a good game at first. Pittsburgh was handling with Birmingham, but Birmingham just was too dominant in that. And now they're two-time champions as they beat the Pittsburgh Maulers, who got mauled, 28-12. Got mauled. Oh, that's bad. Gerald, did you watch the USFL game last week? Mm, yeah, didn't turn to be the game I expected. I thought maybe Pittsburgh was going to make some kind of a run, but Birmingham shows why Birmingham is still the champs. So did I. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, and they did. No wonder why Dallas went after the kicker. Exactly, and it's paying off. You mean like a G League? Yeah, except this gets more attention than the G League itself. Right. Yeah. I'm also thinking that at some point they're going to merge, and you know, well, but put this way though, the XFL did better than the USFL this season though. Though, yeah, more people were tuned into the XFL than USFL. Maybe, yeah, but quality of the play, I guess, didn't work out for the USFL this year. So it looks like UFC. I mean, the XFL won this battle this year. Go figure. Yeah, but the XFL's crowd I think was a little bit better this year. Yeah, that's a strike right there. $60 million loss. Oof. How do you survive with that? Yes. Mm, yeah, I mean the USFL lost a lot of money the last time they're around. Yep, that's what you gotta do. Yeah. Let's just hope that because when the last time they won the law they won the lawsuit the last time they were in play was only worth $1, and you can't operate a league at just $1. Oh boy, the great the great debacle. Yeah. So anyway, for you Braves fans out there, Ronald Acuna Jr. made history and became the first MLB player in history to have 20 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and 50 RBIs before the All Star break. Acuna is a special player as the Braves extended their at this time the report to 9 games in a row and are now at least 30 games over 500. At this point in the season, I mean that's a pretty substantial lead. Though the Mets are making some headway now. I think they've won now 5 in a row. I mean they were 8 games out below for first place last week, and look at them now. They've won 5 straight. Not bad. He is only the third player with 20 home runs and 40 stolen bases in the first 84 games of the season. Uh, Eric Davis done that, and there was another player that did that. Anybody want to take a guess? Nope, nope, nope. Before the All Star break in 84 games. Nope, nope, nope. You guys are gonna hate yourself when you hear the answer. Nope, 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 nope. Does the name Ricky Henderson mean anything to you guys? Diane went, but you guys probably some baseball fans. Ugh. Okay. Before the game, Acuna was named Player of the Month for June, the second time he won that award. In the third inning, Acuna extended his hitting streak to 14 games before stealing his 40th base, the most he's had in a season. His previous high was 37 in 2019. He appeared to injure his right shoulder as he's making a headfirst slide, which is something you shouldn't do. He stayed on the ground for a few moments before being helped off by a Braves trainer, but he stayed in the game and scored a single. And so Acuna was fine with there. He is a tough player even when he's injured. Wow. And that's why the Braves are 30 games above 500 at this point in the season. Yeah, but this is yeah, still very impressive. Okay, now on to the stupid story of the week, and I think can all agree on this. As the king of gluttony does it again, Joey Chestnut is 16th competitive won his 16th competitive eating competition on Tuesday, the 4th of July. Chestnut scarfed down 62 franks and buns in 10 minutes. I just hope he brought a case of Pepto Bismol with him. Oh boy. He outdid his opponent, Jeffrey Esper, who did 49 hot dogs in the same amount of time. Chestnut won his 8th mustard belt. Can somebody explain to me why people are interested in this kind of nonsense? I mean, to say gluttony is a sport, I mean, what is the purpose of this in the first place? Well, someone did a while ago. What was that again? Yeah. Oh, oh boy, unreal. Right. Just too weird. Yeah. And the mustard. Yeah. Oh, I have. Oh boy. Moving along. Free agent center. Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Free agent Senator Mo Obama signed a 1 year deal with the Sixers. Oh well. So by Mark Boston of Priority Sports, the Sixers are bringing Obama with the intention of keeping him as a restricted free agent. Paul Reed, but Bama gives them security behind Joel Embiid in case they end up losing Reed. Bama was a free agent after being waived by the Lakers last week, and he would have been owed $10.3 million. Obama from the Magic at half last season's trade deadline. Yeah, the tragic. That's just a little bit of a joke, guys. I know tragic. Yeah. The Blazers have matched restricted free agent Matisse Thybulle's 3-year, $33 million offer sheet with the Mavericks. Mm-hmm. Blazers are retaining Thibault, who will stay as part of the rebuild. I hate that word. As the organization is also in pursuit of trades of its star player Damian Lillard. The deal includes a 3-year player option worth $11.5 million. It's got to be saying something though when you're trading your best player. I mean, I don't know what the Blazers are going to do without Lillard. I mean, I think he could be in for a tough season. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Oh, okay. And speaking of the NBA, the dumbest move I think anybody can make. You ready? Now, you've heard that they're planning on doing an in season tournament. Well, this year it's going to happen in Vegas between December 7th and through the 9th. Still, I think it's a dumb idea. Stats will count toward the regular season except for this so called championship game, which is really not a championship game to begin with. Full details of the tournament were announced last week. Commissioner Adam Silver said recent number one picks Victor Wembanyama, Pablo Banchero, and Kay Cunningham, and All Stars Trey Young and Anthony Edwards will be part of the broadcast. The in-season tournament will debut this season as details were unveiled in the league's new CBA agreement, which took effect last week. Yet, I think, now this is my personal comments right here, I think the idea of having an in-season tournament in the pro leagues is ridiculous. What are you going to do next? An in-season Super Bowl or an in-season World Series? Come on. All teams will take part in the group stage, which consists of 6 groups, total 3 in each conference, and are chosen from a random draw based on teams' winning percentage from the previous season. Each team will play 4 games in their group, with 6 group winners advancing to the knockout stage, along with 2 wild cards who finish in the top, finishing the best winning percentage, though not finishing at the top of their groups. The knockout stage will consist of single elimination games. I don't like this idea at all. I think it cheapens everything. You know, maybe still. I mean, it's one thing if you do it in college with a preseason NIT, but this is ridiculous to do an in-season tournament. It's dumb, just dumb. Is there anyone out there who agrees with me? Yeah, nothing. Well, more so ratings than money, I think. But I don't think it's even going to bring that in. I mean, I mean, it's just a big gimmick, to be honest with you. And the last thing I think anybody needs is a gimmick. Yeah, the last thing any league needs is a gimmick. It doesn't. I don't think it even helps the sport. I think it helps ruins the sport. No, I don't think so. But I just think it's a dumb idea. Trying to come up with a gimmick, thinking that it's going to generate more interest. When in reality, I don't think it's going to generate a lot of interest. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think it's $1 million for the winner. Yeah. What about what? Yeah. Well, the loser doesn't get anything. So, if you ask me, I just think it's just a cheap tactic. You know, but everything's all about gimmicks now, and that unfortunately destroys the sport. Has anybody been following Wimbledon this past week though? Hmm. I'm just trying to check and see if anything has come up in this as they're entering the Sweet 16. Actually, it's Monday. Uh, yeah, Alcazar is the top ranked player. He's won in 4 sets. Despastis has won in 3 sets over 1 in 3 sets. Ballardini won in 3 sets as well. And I think I had something on the women's front. Just let me check that out. Just like I said. Oh, hey, Steve, there was one more thing. There was a rookie UFC fighter, but he had to bow out because he suffered a brain disorder. Did you hear about that? No. Oh, wow. I thought you'd be up on that. Okay. Yeah. Well, he's a newcomer to the sport. So let me just see if I can find it here. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I thought you'd be the first to hear about this. Yeah. Well, good luck. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So newcomer named newcomer named Josh Harrell um, will be out in his first fight after a rare brain disease was found. A pre-fight MRI by the Nevada State Athletic Commission showed that Harrell had a previous diagnosed affliction called moyanoma. I hope I'm saying that right. A rare blood vessel where the artery or the skull becomes black or narrow. That's going to the Mayo Clinic. Ugh. His manager, Maurice Blanco, a first-round manager, said Harrell will need to undergo brain surgery. He did call it a blessing in disguise because of how dangerous it would have been for Harwell to continue to fight with this affliction. He was scheduled to take on UFC top prospect Jack Della Manella today at UFC 290. He made the weight yesterday morning and was set to compete until the MRI came back. He will be able to return, though, to fighting when he recovers. But that's a pretty serious condition right there, Steve. I mean, how do you even come back from that? Ugh. I mean, you gotta go through brain surgery with that. So, that's gonna be kind of hard to come back from, I think. Ugh. I certainly wish him well. Good thing that he's not fighting, because if he did with that'd be a big problem. So, if that were me, I'd be glad I wouldn't be fighting either. That's gotta be a tough call. Oof. Well, I certainly wish him well. Yeah, I certainly wish him well. That's a tough break for a young fighter. Now, you've all heard about CTE, right? Well, I got another story here. Oh boy. Oh, before I go into that, I have something on Venus Williams. Venus Williams entered the court for her 24th Wimbledon and was greeted with standing ovation once she began her first round match against Elena Salvatina. The big serves, the crisp strokes, quickly she was point away from a 3-0 lead in round one. Then moving forward to attempt a volley, Williams slipped on the green grass. Her foot gave way. She screamed and clutched her right knee and was covered by a village sleeve. Williams had treated twice by a trainer that included getting the knee taped up during a medical timeout after the first set. Though she kept playing, she could not overcome Slovenia and lost in straight sets 6-4, 6-3. So goes her chance for another title. Williams is a former top seed women's player, has fallen below the top 500 after a series of injuries that limited her to just 22 matches since the start of 2021. She was the oldest player to enter the tournament this year and the fourth oldest to compete at Wimbledon at the ripe old age of 43. 43. I'm older than that. What do you mean old? Come on. She's not that old. I'm, I'm 53. Come on, man. This stuff 43 years old. Come on. Yeah, thank you. 43 is old. Come on. Okay, now getting back to the story. All right, now getting back to the story. Now, this is interesting, guys. Listen carefully. This is a rather disturbing story, though, but nevertheless important. Researchers say that former Australian female football player Heather Anderson was diagnosed with CTE, and this is believed to be the first known case of CTE by a female athlete. Now, there might have been others that happened, just not reported or well known enough. Anderson played 7 games for Adelaide in the women's AFL in 2017 and retired later that season. Unfortunately, though, she took her own life in November of last year, at the age of 28, which is a shame. Her family donated the brain to the ASBB, that's an Australian organization, and the findings were published last week, on Tuesday actually, according to the Springer Medical Journal. That's Australian over there. Researchers said the findings fulfill current diagnostic criteria for low stage CTE. She is the first known female athlete to be diagnosed with the disease, but the authors of the papers wrote that this won't definitely will not be the last. Unfortunately, they're right. And that no, that's it's a brain injury that's normally associated with football players. Yeah, yes, it's a concussion. It's yeah, concussion. How the players take hits, during football season and they suffer concussions, that could lead to CTE later, and it's a traumatic brain disorder. I'm not even a doctor. Yeah, I understand that perfectly. Hmm. Yes. Yeah. I had a cousin who played college football, so I know some of that. Yes. Yeah. So be careful when you're playing whatever kind of contact sport you're playing, whether it be football, hockey, and sometimes even basketball too, because you can take a hit. I didn't think of that. Thanks. I didn't think of that, Gerald. Thanks. See, on this show, folks, we provide, tons of knowledge. That's part of our mission here. Entertain, inform, and educate. That's why someone started this mission 10 years ago. All right. Yes. And even people who don't keep up with it because I think it's important. Okay, now on to some lighter news for this week in sports history. Oh, I hate when I have to echo myself. Oh, yuck. Okay, let me find something interesting here. Uh, hmm. Okay, 1935, the third baseball All-Star game. The American League won 4-1 at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, now called the Guardians, once called the Indians. Ugh. All right, moving on. The ninth All-Star game, the AL won 7-5 at Brigham Stadium in Detroit. 1949, baseball grants a $5,000 minimum salary. Okay. In the 14th All-Star game in 1947, the National League did it again, 2-1 at Wrigley Field in Chicago. 1951, Yankee slugger Joe DiMaggio and manager Casey Stengel feuded after Stengel plus pulls DiMaggio out of the game. Mm-hmm. They didn't say for what. In 1952, at the All-Star game, the National League won 3-2 in only 5 innings in Philadelphia, probably because of rain. 1958, at the 25th All-Star game, the AL won 4-3, as was held in Baltimore, Maryland. 1960, Fidel Castro and Savannah's in International League team, the Sugar Kings, and they moved to New Jersey. Unfortunately, it didn't last that long. 1963, Wimbledon women's tennis Australian Margaret Smith wins her first of three Wimbledon titles, beating Billie Jean Lafayette, now known as Billie Jean King, in straight sets 6-3, 6-4. 1965, Joe Morgan is the first Astros player with 6 hits in the game. You now know him for his Sunday night baseball telecast. Well, I do. 19 and Billie Jean won the Wimbledon title in 1967 over Annie Jones, a local favorite, in straight sets. Okay, good. 1970, Giants Jim Ray Hart got 6 innings in the eighth. Wait. His eighth to get 6 RBIs in 1 inning in the fifth. In 1970, okay, you Mets fans, listen up here. 1973, the Mets are 12 and a half games back, and yet they go on to win the pennant that year. Any response, Mike? Yep. But they lost the World Series that year to the Mets. I guess you're the Mets have won the pennant. The Mets have won. Oh boy. In 74, Yankees should. Well, that's when the Giants did back in 51. Okay. Yankees shortstop Jim Mason ties record with 4 doubles in a 9-inning game. 4 doubles in 1 game. Wow. You don't see that very often. 1978. Oh, I remember this. In men's tennis, Bjorn Borg of Sweden won his 3rd Wimbledon singles title against Jimmy Connors. I remember that. 1980. I remember this one too. The National League won against the American League 4-2 at Dodger Stadium in LA. 1980 All-Star MVP Ken Griffey of the Reds. Not junior, but senior. 1982, Billy Martin records his 1,000th career win as a manager, and then got hired and fired and hired and fired and hired and fired. Yeah. Yeah. Men's tennis, John McEnroe defends his crown against fellow American Jimmy Connors 6-1, 6-1, 6-2 in 1984. And he said after that, "You can't be serious." No. Okay. That ball was out. What are you nuts? That ball was out already. Oh no. I can't resist doing McEnroe. Sorry. I can't resist. 1990, Brewers beat the Angels 20-7 with a 13 running in the 5th. So in that case, we knew that game was over. Yeah. 1990, Stefan Edberg beats Boris Becker in 5 sets for his 2nd Wimbledon singles crown. Yeah, beats Boris. Well, he didn't have Natasha with him, so that was the case right there. Okay. I got catch moves and squirrel. Help. The things I do on this show. Okay. 1992, the Florida Marlins unveiled their uniform. Oh, well. 1994, preliminary trial rules. There is enough evidence to try O.J. Simpson. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Okay. 1985, Detroit Junior Olympics always shell defenseman Brian Bernard is first picked by the Ottawa Senators. And Steffi Graf beats Alexandria Sanchez Vicaro of Spain in 3 sets to win her 6th Wimbledon title. And 1987, the American League beat the National League 3-1 at Nicklaus Field in Cleveland for the 68th All-Star Game. All right, guys, I'm almost out of time, so we only got a few minutes left. Does anybody have any quick final thoughts? But I only can have time for like about 2. Thanks. Oh, quick caller from New York City. Who's calling, please? Quickly. Alan, yeah, hi. Oh, right. Yeah, and Alan has a great show on Friday nights. You guys should check it out sometime. It's really good. And okay, all right. So as I mentioned, Rasal was coming up with his show at 6 o'clock. You try to check him out. Remember, as I said before, you can check out this show on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and dial in the Enhanced Sports Show. Remember though, do as exactly as I say, otherwise you're not going to get through. So on that note, I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna have Rasal take over. I want to thank everybody for coming in, and we'll talk again next week, same time, same station. On that note, good week. Bye, folks. Okay, just let me stop you. Okay, right.